Hi.
Yay! Hi. How's it going?
Hello. How's it going? Happy
Good.
Sunday
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday.
and happy time zones. So it is 3 p.m. my time and 10 a.m. your time, I think.
Yes, indeed.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. I was going to say I have no idea if anyone's watching us because I could see the little zero. I was like, I have no idea if anyone is going to show up because I'm highly aware that we've unfortunately scheduled this stream at the same time as one of the D&D taverns, blank taverns. I can't speak anymore. Blank page tavern. I'm going to forget every single word until I get it right. Is happening at the same time. So I apologize if anyone wanted to do both, but you can always put us on replay
Yeah.
after or the other way around, or
Yeah.
use the sprints to go over to the D&D one.
Right. This might end up just being like a live co-working session for me and Malin, and that's fine.
Exactly. So we scrambled up to think about a topic we were going to talk about right before this session. But essentially, if you don't know, I'm going to assume there's no one brand new here. But if you were, we tend to pick a topic and sort of semi-related to writing, sometimes just work-life balance, which is what this one's going to be about. So we tend to pick a topic, ask some questions around, chat a little bit, then go for a couple of sprints,
Mhm.
often between 20 and 40 minutes, depending on the mood.
Yeah.
And today we've both been struggling a little bit with balancing writing, living, and content creating.
I'm a tornado.
All of the things. All of
Yeah.
the things. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's sort of what we were thinking. Let's talk about this today. So quickly, I'll just go through the few people that have joined us to say hello. Hi, Keiko. How's it going? How are you? Good day, mate, to you too, writer Steeg Dirdle. Feels very Australian today. So what's
Mhm.
up? And Marta has joined us. Hi. I've literally just queued your video, Marta, in my tab.
Oh,
It's like
it's really
it's
good.
next to my timers tab, so I need to make sure I don't put that up later when when we start sprinting. Yes, I am currently working on editing this video. And by currently working, I mean I've just put everything together and I will be starting during the sprints. Um, I don't know if you've watched the video that Anna did earlier on following the Readsy course, but I'll be talking about the preview lessons, the sessions that are the 5Ps right before you start the course. And I'm going through all of them and doing one per day essentially throughout last week. So it's been really interesting. It's been very fun for me to experiment with my new like plot bunny project, I guess.
It's getting me so hyped for this new project. Like
Yeah.
I need the zero drop to be done ASAP.
It's been really fun to get into it using those sessions, if anything. So I hope that
Yeah.
transpires through the video when I edit it. So yeah, that's what I'm currently
Mhm.
working on. And yes, the eternal struggle. I'm going to be struggling a little bit today. I just feel like it's been a while since I've streamed, or even just when I was filming the vlog earlier this week, I was struggling just to find the right words. I was like, it's going to need heavy editing. I just don't
Mm,
know how to speak to a camera anymore.
yeah. I was talking to Luke about the fact that like the last video I edited came together quite quickly because I did most of it in voiceover.
Yes.
Whatever reason, when I speak in voiceover, I am a lot more coherent, but when I talk to a camera, I have to like edit myself to filth.
Yeah, I will say this. I use Premiere Pro mainly to edit,
Mhm.
and they have this feature which is like automatically detect, script. So it'll just write down what you're saying in the videos that
Oh,
you put in, and you can edit from there. And since then, I have been way quicker at editing video
wow.
because you just delete a sentence and you delete the blanks, and then it deletes that part of the video.
Oh, love it.
This is why you pay the big bucks for these.
Wow. Oh, geez. Sorry. Messed up my mic.
So yeah, that's what I tend to use for editing videos. I finally got rain, but it's still hot. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, the weather's been on and off in England a little bit like someone's turning a switch on and off with rain, sun. So it's English summer. Did you get the course too? So no, the course that I was registered in as part of this sponsored video because it is a sponsored video. No, no gatekeeping here. It's all. But I do like Reedsy. To be fair, I was like excited when I got the email because I was like, I have used you guys for other stuff. Essentially, the course has certain dates that it starts at because you are, from my understanding, you are being followed by a mentor and all that when you do the course. So the one I'm registered in is the 2nd of September. And so what I'm doing is essentially almost like a little mini ad before it starts so that people can get excited about it if they want to register. And all I got was access to the preview lessons, which are the 5 Ps. So I think it's a protagonist, plot, pitch, etc. for anything that you sort of prepare before you start writing and start drafting. And it gets you ready for the course, essentially. So that's what I did. And honestly, I might do this for every single plot buddy from now on because it was so good for me to have all these elements ready now that I'm like, regardless of whether I enjoyed the rest of the course, etc., this was a good idea. This was cool.
I was genuinely really impressed with that part of it as well. And I remember I did all the 5 Ps like 1 or 2 days before my course started. And I was not feeling ready as far as like knowing my idea very well. Like I was like, oh God, I have to get ready to write.
It was still early days. Initially,
And then I did that section and was like, oh, like I just figured out so much stuff that was so easy. Really, I'm going to be taking that forward as well.
Yeah. And by the way, this live stream is not sponsored by Reedsy. This is all our actual thoughts, just so you know. None of this is an actual sponsored video right now. I need to write on my fanfic because the hype is big right now. Yes, nice. Which fanfic are you writing right now? I can't remember if I knew this or not, and I'm sorry if I have forgotten. Let us know. Call in. I have 29 degrees for the past day in my flat. Right. So I don't know how to translate that for Anna.
I'll Google it.
Yeah. But that is hot, especially in Europe in general.
To have your apartment be that hot too, like just your living space, that's very hot.
I go into work only in my t-shirt and work in the freezer section. Oh my God. Yeah, this is the thing is like last Monday in the UK was 33 degrees, which was the hottest day of the year. And I had to go to the office, but that was for the first time. I was like, this is great. This is fantastic. They have aircon in the office. I don't have aircon at home because I live in Britain where no one has aircon.
Right.
So, this is perfect timing. That is so cool that we both got the same ish sponsorship though. Yeah, I think it's because we both reached 1K followers this year, maybe, or you did last year, I think. Maybe was it December? I can't remember.
No clue, actually.
I feel like I'm about like 100 or 200 like subscribers behind you every time, and so when you reach like another like what is the word
milestone.
Yes, milestone. Thank you. I was losing.
Your English is sleeping.
My language is gone. My words are gone. When you reach a milestone, every time I'm like, oh, that should come for me soon. Because I'm like, I know that I'm about 200 behind. So yeah, that was funny. Hello, Flora. How's it going? I thought of Promise Progress Payoff, but that was Brando Sendo. I don't know that one. Has he talked about this in one of his videos, his course?
Yes.
Videos? Okay.
Yeah, I believe he talked about this in, he recorded his semester that he teaches at, what's it? I forget the name of the university, but he teaches a creative writing course and he recorded it in 2020. So there's a whole playlist of classes that he taught, and that's one of those videos.
Nice. Okay. I should get into that. That would be a good one to watch, actually.
It's good.
Dragon Age. Okay. Yes. I feel like you have mentioned this before.
I feel like Keiko tells us this every single time.
I'm so sorry, Keiko. I've never played Dragon Age, and so I think that's why I just forget. So I'm sorry. The next game comes on October 31st. Ooh, Halloween game. Nice. Exciting. 34 degrees for 3 days. That is too hot for too long. Yeah. And you're in Germany, aren't you? So like, no, it's probably about the same as here. It's like not that many places with aircon, unfortunately. Aircon in the office is amazing. Best part about not working from home. Yep. Hi, how's it going, Andy? How are you? Like button booped. Nice, thank you. Sponsorships and above 1K YouTube officially in the Cool Kids Club. Yes, we've made it. But, before all of these, Marta, I'll have you know that Anna got some very interesting sponsorship requests.
I have gotten some strange things in
Wasn't
my
there one
inbox.
for tights? I think there was one for
Yeah,
tights.
one was, and I'm not sure that any of these were really legit. They might have just
Yeah.
been trying to steal my personal information, but or steal anyone's. But yeah, one of them was for like costume tights that were just
Mm.
like, full of holes, like that were popular probably like in
I feel like I could do that myself with a regular pair of Primark tights, I just get them for £1 and then rip them.
yeah, it they were a look. They were a look.
Yeah. Um, Bingham Uni?
Oh, Brigham Young, I think is
Is
it?
that the Brenda Sendo thing? Is that what the course was at? Okay,
Yeah, I think so.
no idea.
Yeah.
I'm very hyped, so I talk about it all the time. That's cool. You can, because I forget things all the time, so I'm happy if you repeat it.
Mhm.
Blank Page Tavern is also happening right now. Yes, and I have to dash in 45 minutes. Why can't I be in 3 places at once? Sorry. Steek, you've already said hi earlier, I'm pretty sure. You said good day, mate. Or was that, did you forget?
Are you in
Hi
town
again.
today? Blink twice.
Keiko and I have only those inside paper blinds to keep the sun out. That is not good enough. And
Mm.
the sun bursts the entire day on my flat because of the angle southwest. Yeah. I mean, that is nice when it's like, oh, you get a bit of sunshine and the weather is all right. But yeah, otherwise, that's too much. Spility about those sponsors. If you're
The only other funny one I remember is a charging cord that was like magnetic, so you could like wind it up neatly.
which,
Like,
which is like a weirdly niche one, but it's also sort of useful, I guess. So it's one of these you're like, are
yeah,
you legit? Are you
I am that person that like in my bag I have headphones and 3 charger cords that are just
yeah.
tangled up. Like I am not the person that will like neatly wrap everything, put it in a pocket. Like no,
Yeah.
I'm a chaos monster. Everything is in the bottom of my bag, tangled.
You're that person in high school who would have a backpack where they just shovel the papers in at the end of a class.
Yeah, that was me. That was me.
I was the organized girly that had little binders and they were color
Yeah.
coded.
I can't. I can't. It's just not me.
Should have directed them to me. I could easily, sponsor for that.
You
That would
know
be
who
useful.
does want magnetic charger cord is Malin.
Definitely could use that. Decluttering my bedroom today and reorganizing. My living room is a mess now, but my bedroom is giving nice.
Love
That sounds
that.
good. Love a bit of decluttering. Love a
Yeah.
bit of reorganizing.
I'm having like a really, it's been pouring rain all day, and I just feel like that is organizing cozy bedroom vibes.
I just feel like sometimes it's like decluttering your soul when you just do a little bit of you just sort everything in your house and you feel like, oh, I feel lighter because everything is nice. So that's always good. I'd love to see how you work costume tights into your writing vlog. I guess
Mm.
I guess there's an overlap of audiences, probably. Like sort of like I feel like we're adjacent to the D&D-esque, maybe cosplayers audience,
Oh, that
you
could
know?
be fun. Yeah.
So maybe that's where it came from. I don't know.
If I actually got off my butt and went to the Renaissance Fair before it closed this year, be like, and here are my
Oh my
holy.
god, I'd be so jealous. I wish I could go to a Renaissance fair, but I don't. I never see them advertised in the same way here, and I just don't think they're the same way in England as they are in the US. And that
Yeah.
is a dream. Uh,
Guess you'll have to come visit me.
just for a Renaissance fair, not even to see you, just be like.
Yeah, not for anything else, just for that.
So, how far are you in the Reedsy course now, Anna? What week are we up at
Uh,
now?
I'm just over the halfway point. I'm taking it through September. So yeah, it's going good. I have been keeping up, but I have fallen behind on the writing. I decided to take a little bit of a writing break kind of after I finished filming for the last vlog.
Actually, can I ask you, because I obviously, although I'm being sponsored before the previous sessions, I've not tried the course itself. Do you actually have to do the writing at the same time, or can you say, I just want to do the lessons?
So, I mean, no one is like chaining me to my keyboard, obviously,
Mm.
but the idea is that you will be writing 1,000 words a day for like Monday through Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
so that by the end of the course, you will probably land at like a 75,000 word draft.
Yeah.
So the videos are kind of set up with that in mind of like where you will probably be in the writing. But my project is feeling like very short to me. Like I kind of feel like it's going to end up being novella size.
Yeah, you said in your last vlog.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think it's going to end up being kind of my shortest zero draft, like probably a 30 to 40K draft.
That'd be interesting though, because maybe that's the story you want to tell, but also maybe you might end up saying, actually, I want to buff it up later and get back
Yeah.
to it and add like another 10 or 20K or something.
Yeah, I'm really like I'm happy with this change, and like Hudson
Mm,
always tells us underwriting is the best because then you only have what you need and you can add and add. So
yeah.
I think it'll be interesting to see how I feel at the end of it and what the revision process is like.
Because the thing is, if anything, and I'm jumping onto our main topic here. Nice segue, if I
Mhm.
notice. I feel like it's very difficult when you have a full-time job to focus on having 1,000 words written per day.
Yeah.
Just life happens, and this is just taking into this would only be okay. I'm working on a full-time job that finishes on time, doesn't require me to work any extra hours,
Hmm.
and I'm not doing anything else in the evening, or I have the capacity to do something else and write 1,000 words, which sounds incredibly hard to me.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. And if anything, in my head, I was thinking this course would be good if I can take it almost double the amount of time that it's meant to take
Yeah.
and do like 500 words per day instead type of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it is a lot, and I definitely feel like if I were to have paid for this, I would have to very carefully plan my year around it to make sure that I
Yeah,
really got like the most possible out of the experience because it's
which
a lot. Yeah.
I'm gonna put up my first little banner up here, but essentially, as we said, we do have a topic that we wanted to talk about today, which is how you balance life, time to write, and create content, since we're also content creators in one way, in one form or another. Content creators. Hey, we have 1,000 followers each. Come on, we're content creators.
Imposter syndrome is real.
Hey, come on. Let's just take the small victories. I'll take that. It took
Yeah,
me 2, 3 years. I don't know how 3 years.
took me 4.
But it's incredibly hard to do all three, I feel like sometimes. And if anything, that's why I feel like my content creation has become more of a narration of my
Mhm.
everything that's currently going on, like small snippets, real videos, like just little TikTok vibes, or basically B-roll shooting some B-roll on my phone every now and then when I can, when I think it might be useful, and then trying to string it together into
Mhm.
a bit of content. Or it's become a platform for me to do more writing so that it can actually give me the opportunity to do some writing during this content creation. So say
Mhm.
I'm currently filming and it'll take me a while because I don't think I'm going to be done today, but I started filming the revisions for
Ooh.
what used to be called Project Rose, then Lockhart and Beckett, and now an office full of monsters. So, because I printed it and I was like, I'm going to film the process of it. But I started this like 2 months ago and I've sort of dropped it because other stuff happened in the meantime.
Yeah.
But essentially, in my head, I was thinking, this is content creation, but it's useful because I'm writing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the only way I can do both. Otherwise, I'm not able at the moment to create anything unique that is unrelated to something that is going to be useful for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have very similar approaches where if I'm going to find time to make videos, it has to be kind of that like documentary style of what I'm doing and keeping
Yeah.
me accountable to what I'm trying to work on. And I really don't have time or interest in making videos that are like just about showing up to YouTube. Like I don't
Yeah.
really have time to make videos that are like 10 ways to do X or like my tips on this and like
Yeah.
kind of sit down videos because A, I just wouldn't really be that interested in making it, and B, like that doesn't really further my projects in any way. So
Yeah.
the videos kind of
Have to be useful.
dual purpose to me.
Yeah, no, exactly. I might not go through all of the comments that I have missed immediately because we do need to get into a sprint. But if you guys want to answer the question, and then we'll go through the answers after the first sprint. Where was I last? Where was the last comment I was on? If I just
Hmm.
unclick the banner, maybe it'll come back. No, it will not apparently. Um, I feel like it's just because it's jumped. Yeah, it scrolled me back down. Typical
Uh-oh.
StreamYard. Right. Okay. This was the question that Stieg
Oh, yes.
asked. So, got 30 minutes left of the Pride and Prejudice audiobook. Nice. So, gonna do that first and some cross stitching. Nice. That's
Oh,
perfect because we're gonna put. I've got a 35 minutes sprint to start us with, if that's okay. Yeah, perfect. Nice. But then I want to start the second Bone season book today too. It's called The Mime Order, and I better pick up some of the many loose threads from the first tall order. My headphones are neatly wrapped in inside a small Pokemon ball type enclosure that you get from these toys in these especially. That's fantastic.
That's
I love
great.
that. Because that is the headphone organization system I've had since I was 12, and we are sticking to it. Fair enough. If it works, it works. Sorry, I'm speed reading through the comments so we can get to the first one. In Norway, we only have Viking fairs, but I love going to. That sounds fun. I would love
Oh,
to go to a Viking fair. To be fair,
wow.
we would also love a Renaissance fair. Yeah. Hi, Lynn. Sorry, I'm only now getting to your hi message. How's it going? Okay, go in Germany. We have a bunch of medieval fairs. There's even one. They have the largest movable robot. It's a giant dragon that even spits fire. Please send us footage of this. There
Yeah.
must be a video somewhere of that. Like,
Wow.
I want to see what it looks like. 1,000 words a day has been impossible, even when I've been on my hollybobs. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I
hit that the first week and then
it seems very difficult to do for that long period of time. I could do it maybe for like a couple of weeks, and then I'd be like, I'm burned out now. I can't do it
mhm.
anymore. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Out of 500 word count goal every day, and I reached it, but part of me is like, do better. But then, what if I increase the goal and then fail it? Better safer than sorry. I agree, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you can still go over it without
Yeah.
setting up as a new goal. You know. Do
Congrats.
you lose access to the course after it's over, or can you watch the old videos after if you fall behind?
I believe you have access for a year. If I
Nice.
don't quote me, I need to check my documentation, but I know
Mm,
you have access for at least a long period of time.
that's pretty good. My boyfriend recently caught up with my unsubscribers despite only having 3 videos, so I think I'd be embarrassed to call myself a content creator this month. I remember you telling us that your boyfriend started a random channel and then like got a bunch of subscribers immediately. But it sounded like he was doing something extremely niche, which is where it's at, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
yeah. Hi, Robert. How's it going? 100% agree. After a full day work or busy weekends, I find I can do 200 a day consistently at least. That's pretty good. And I feel like I could do that also, like maybe at lunchtime or something if I were like, I have plans after work.
Yeah.
But it's still, some days your brain just isn't braining, you know?
Yeah.
That's the problem. All right. I've got more comments coming up. I'm just gonna say hi to Emma, and then I'm gonna go back to this is the last comment I'm reading, and then I'm gonna set us on a sprint, and I'll get back to the answers people have said after. Sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place. Like I said, it's gonna be a struggle today.
We're good. We always say we're doing casual productivity.
Yeah,
We're gonna be chatty. This is part of the break.
exactly. This is potentially one of my favorite timers, so I just put
Ah,
that one because I think it's so
love. It
easy.
looks like something that would totally poison me, either the flowers or the potion, but that's kind of what I like about it.
Oh, what are you working on during these sprints?
Yes. I am beta reading.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know if they would like me to say who they are, so I'm just gonna say I'm beta reading.
Nice. You did say it to me, but before we jumped on the actual official live. So nice. Okay, and I'll be editing a video. It says it under my little name tag anyway. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. See you guys in 35.
That scared me.
Sorry, I was on mute still.
No worries. I was so in the zone.
I forgot to mute the tab. Although sometimes, I mean, I don't know whether that would mute it for you as well or just for people watching. I have no idea. So
That's
yeah.
all right. I needed the sound to break me out.
How did that sprint go for you? It was 35 minutes, a
Good.
good amount.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was really good. I was very focused. I got through probably like three or four chapters, so
Nice. That's
wonderful.
very good.
Yeah.
And I have gotten not a huge amount of things to show for because I've only got 2 minutes and 20 seconds that are edited in my video. But I went through the whole process of putting everything in the folder, gathering all the footage, and starting to put together. Like the intro for me is usually the longest part when I edit videos because I put together a little bit of imagery or stuff like that. So it's piecing
Yeah.
it together kind of thing. So, and now I feel like I'm in the groove of it as well. I feel like video editing for me is I need to push myself to get into it, but then once I'm in it, I'm like, yes, this is enjoyable, and I'm liking
Hmm.
this again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Me too. Yeah. I always love doing like the little like intro to the video too, the beginning. Like
Mm.
that's kind of the more creative part for me. And then as I get into the middle, I'm like,
Just get it out there.
yeah. Because that's when I'm editing myself for filth because I can't talk.
Yeah, I feel like I'm happier than I thought I would be with my speech pattern, I guess, in the video as I'm editing it. There's just two intro bits that I just completely deleted the video off because I was like, I'm speaking nonsense. I'm just repeating shit I'm gonna say again. So,
Yeah.
but that's it. I'm gonna get back to the answers that we had, and I start where we were at because I knew I would forget
Mhm.
otherwise. So I've got Steve's answer, which was the first one, right before we jumped into this sprint. So Stieg says, having a full-time job that's sort of mentally demanding is very tough for me to combine with writing. That's so fair. I'm going to stick to my 500 words a day, Monday, Saturday, and see if I can stick to it until end of draft. Yeah, I feel like I have the privilege of having a mostly working from home, mostly computer-based job that doesn't require much more mental effort. And sometimes if I have a quiet time, I could sneak in some words if like
Mhm.
suddenly there's a quiet week. It's rare, but it happens. And I know that's a privilege compared to someone who has to be on location and has to be 100% there mentally as well for their
Same.
job. So, yeah.
Yeah. Same here.
And I don't even do content creation, so I couldn't imagine having to do videos and content on top of a full-time job plus writing. Yeah, you say this, but I don't fully agree with that statement because, in a way, although you don't actually post them on an Instagram, you send them to me and then you send them to the Discord channel. You do a lot of content creation related to your writing. You do a lot of Canva stuff. You do maps. You do so many things that are surrounding your writing that you could, if you wanted to do, just do an Instagram with all of these. That's content.
Ooh.
I just like I'm gonna give you that little extra credit because come on.
Steve writing creations. I love it.
Marta says, "Are we getting time to answer the question during the sprint?" Yes, sorry, I was skipping a bunch of comments and so I didn't see this earlier because I don't think I can write a detailed answer while paying attention. That is fair. My brain also works like that. And I'm going to take that as a yes, it was. We've said hi to Emma earlier, and thank you for booping the like button. And then Lynn answered, I try to write every single day, even if some days it's like 5 words. That's
Mm.
really good. Just consistency is so good. I just need the momentum. Right now, though, I'm moving and starting a new job in September, so I
Mm.
haven't been writing much. Yes,
Yeah.
that's fair. The moving part last year for me was in August time, and I just remember being like, I'm not writing. It's
It's
just not gonna happen.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because moving is a part-time job.
Literally, it is so mentally consuming. Not just physically, not just moving things and being like, but mentally, I kept thinking
Yeah.
about my brain was nonstop on things to do in the house, and it was not on writing.
Yeah.
But yeah. There's on YouTube by Tom Scott. I think this is related to the medieval fairs in Germany and that dragon
Oh,
robot
yeah.
thing. It's in
I'm
English and they explain everything, even the local tradition of dragon slaying behind it. Cool. I will be highly interested in this as someone who went to a high school that had was named after a dragon slayer, Saint Michael, and had a gigantic, like fucking gigantic painting of Saint Michael slaying the dragon in the wooden staircase. Yes, it is a fancy high school. The wooden and like I have this core memory of during the fair. Like there was a fair that was organized by the scouts and guides and stuff. One of the fun things they were organizing as like the little mini events that they were doing around the school was a like a sliding thing when you're like you roped up and you slide down.
Yeah.
And it was in that staircase, and you were meant to, the guy who was like, about to push you was like, all right, so jump, push your feet above St. Michael's painting and then drop down.
Oh,
I don't know why.
You do that like around this huge.
And I was just like, is this, should we not be more respectful of St. Michael's the dragon? I don't know.
That's so funny, but it makes so much sense. Like now that you're a fantasy writer, like I think that
I have an old draft of, maybe 2 chapters of one of those stories I was starting to write in French ages ago. That was going to be about a secret society of dragon slayers hidden in high school, and that would like recruit young girls who were like in high school. I need to revisit that story one day.
And it would have to be set at your high school is the thing.
It was set up in my high school. It was set up in St. Michael's. And it was very Buffy-esque. And the idea was like they'd gotten in an accident going skiing together. And the secret society only recruited people who had essentially died and come back to life. And because then they could actually see the dragons. Anyway, it was a whole thing.
I love it. That's awesome.
One day I'll revisit the story. People saying hi to each other. Very nice. A little cheese trap for a little rat, which we did do. There was a rat. And we did sprint around that time. So, this is a struggle bus. I'm always happy to write. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your continuous support. I truly appreciate it. Marta answered, I'm currently balancing my job writing YouTube art stuff and also driving lessons. So my current life balance is constantly being in a state of feeling stressed and behind on everything. Yes, and it's so hard to be like, slow down. You're okay.
Yeah.
That in itself is difficult because we've put ourselves, I feel like, in a cycle of constant productivity.
Yeah.
When I spend a Sunday doing nothing, I feel guilty. Like I feel like, oh, I've not been productive for myself, for my own projects, for stuff that's not work. And I feel like I've wasted my personal time because soon after my time is not my own anymore. It's my work's time again.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, it's a weird trip to get over and to be like, no, you're okay. Doing nothing but doom scrolling on TikTok is a worthy activity. Anyway,
I feel the same. Yeah, it's hard.
Part 2 of the answer is, one thing I've been trying to do is aim to get 3 hours of each of my creative things per week. That's really good.
Ooh.
Writing, YouTube, and art. And then once I've done 3 hours of each, I can do more of whatever I pick. I love this because this is very much the experiment I feel like I've tried earlier this year and continue to do during the dog derby days. Which was, instead of word counting, because I had so many things I needed to do, I allocated time, counting, and it was more like 25 minutes per 25 minutes. And I feel like that was so much more beneficial to not feeling rushed by toxic productivity, because it was more like, I can change the task. The task doesn't have to stay the same. It doesn't have to be that one book I was working on. It can become when I had to do my portfolio for work.
Yeah. I love the 3 hours each too. Like
that is good.
That's very nice. Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot ever since I made that weekly vlog where I actually recorded like what I actually do in a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man. I mean, also August has been like particularly insane.
Yeah.
But
August tends to be, I feel like, both for you and me, full of people seeing events, going, weddings, other things that are, I just don't have time. I'm not even in the country anymore. Or
yeah. And just being like, I mean, me writing like 3 times a week or 4 times a week is really solid. And I don't need to have guilt if I have a non-writing day. Like, please, can we let this go?
This is the thing, is how do you convince your own brain that it's okay?
I wish I could. I wish I knew. I'm still working on it. I feel like I learned this lesson literally all the time, over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. And every single time it's a different way anyway, because it's just, well, here's a new hurdle. So
Yeah.
Maruto continues with, this helps me not spend 15 hours a week on editing a video and then
Oh,
not touching my book all week. I don't always manage this, and lately I'm lucky if I do anything else after those 9 hours, but it helps. That is really good. Also, with balancing content creation specifically, lately I've tried to make videos that don't necessarily just help me write my book, but give me an excuse to work on other projects I don't otherwise make time for. That's really good. I want to lean into that more rather than always making writing vlogs, but it is harder to make time for more ambitious videos.
mm,
Yeah. We were just saying that right before about how I feel like I need to make my content related to what I'm doing in order for me to do the thing.
yeah.
Otherwise, I can't do both.
Yeah.
But and that's why I keep pushing it away. But I'm finally, hopefully, gonna be able to make a video on world building in Notion, because I started that Readsy thing with Project Snowstorm, and Project Snowstorm is an epic fantasy, like it's not a contemporary fantasy, so it's going to have a full world building system that I need to
Right.
implement. So I started, I plunged back in these. Steve will recognize number one, and I've got number two that I started reading, because I feel like that one will be way more useful for me, because it's got world histories, monarchies, place names, class wealth power, class systems, etc. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's probably the one I need the most for this. And I've started um B-roll filming, so some of like the process. So
What?
but again, it's only because I'm working on it that I'm able to do it, and I've wanted to do that video for so long that I was like, when am I going to have time to do it? Because every time I have time to be productive for myself, I'm going to prioritize other things right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like fully digressing.
No, you're good. I'm excited to hear about Project Snowstorm.
Agreed, Flora. This timer is so beautiful. It's one of my favorites from Jess. So it's on the Hex library if anyone is curious. Hi, Laura. How's it going? News for getting something. Hi, Crystal. um, Crystal says work-life balance is a bit of a struggle. Last week was my first week back, and I'm so sore and so tired. It's hard to focus on writing, making content. All I want to do is lie down and do nothing. Oh, I get that. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, that is difficult. I oscillate between reading and writing, says Laura. I'm attempting to make Mondays YouTube days so I can stay consistent on both my channels, actually scheduling into my day. That's a really good way to do it. I don't think I have the capacity to be that organized.
Yeah. I definitely do. Like Marta was saying, when I have a video to edit, I pause everything and I edit like for 5 hours a night for like 4 days.
Yeah.
And so that's mostly why I didn't write last week, because I was doing the video. And
Yeah.
it's like, why does it take me so long to edit? Like, I really need to
But they look so good.
stop being such a
Yours.
perfectionist, because they still are full of errors when I watch them back. And I'm like, I spent 15 hours on this.
But I mean, I've not noticed the errors. I always feel like they're very well put together, and that there's always beautiful imagery in your videos. So I appreciate the result. I appreciate the result. Marta, during this sprint, sorted out some laundry and then did a tiny bit of writing. Very nice. Becky,
Are
sorry.
you are you good? Are you okay?
It was after the sprint, I think, the music that
Oh.
Sorry, I'm a bit late. I'm like 10 minutes behind, I think, in the comments. Also, this is my friend Becky, who needs to be reading this book we're co-reading.
Oh, what is it?
It is, sorry, I don't have the cover's over there. Well, it is The Ministry of Time.
Ooh, cool cover.
It's nice, isn't it? And it's essentially the main character is hired as part of the British government ministry. She doesn't know what the job entails, and then when she gets in the job, she's told essentially you're going to become the helper to someone we've expatriated from another timeline, because
Ooh.
a
Hmm.
time machine is a thing and we can travel through time, and we've extracted some people who were going to die anyway as an experiment to like try and do this. And so she's in charge of this one guy who's come from a certain era, and other people are in charge of another person, etc.
Oh.
It's slow paced but really well written, so you still want to read it. And there's a bit of a romance aspect in it that I'm finding a bit dodge, and I think it
Mm,
might be on purpose because it's so well written that
mm,
I have a feeling you're meant to think it's a little bit dodgy, because it's that that trope of like Born Stupid Yesterday, whatever it is, the when you have a character, it's often a female
oh.
character who's from another era or another world or whatever, like my favorite movie of all times, and I know it's problematic, The Fifth Element, where
Mm,
she like knows nothing about your universe, so she's like a child, her mind is like a child's, and then
yeah.
the guy romances her and
Yeah.
he knows everything and she doesn't. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's got that vibe because obviously she's in charge of the guy who knows nothing about our current era.
Mm.
um so, and I feel like it's on purpose, I feel like,
I
but
feel
yeah.
like the author has something up her sleeve or their sleeve.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through, but there's more intense mysteries behind our slowly building.
That
Um,
sounds really good.
but for the moment, I'm enjoying it, so I would recommend so far. And Steak finished Pride and Prejudice. Yay! One Austen novel down, 5 more to go. Finished a few letters in my cross stitch too. Nice. That's pretty
I
good.
would love to get a picture of this in the
Are you
Discord.
gonna put it in the craft channel? I missed the jump scare. I had this tab muted. Sorry, you didn't get the jump scare. I was at a very, very sad scene in this, so I'm so sorry, Keiko. Yes, do hydrate. I mean, this
Mm,
is coffee, but there's a lot of water in coffee,
I'm
so
out of coffee. Where?
we're gonna jump into a sprint soon, and you can get more coffee if you need, and I can get a drink because it's 4 p.m. Um, Crystals is mostly just I being a bit of a rough night's sleep, debating if I'm going to write or just vibe today. Vibing is okay, and that's the thing. That's what we were just saying right now. Is that
Mhm.
it's okay to let yourself vibe sometimes. You don't have to be productive all the time. For me, it's a mess right now. No concentration. I have still a term paper to do, running after teachers for certificates, and I need to register my bachelor thesis. There's a lot of admin, and I feel like life admin gets in the way of things as well, very
Yeah.
often.
College.
When I have a bunch of things to do, and like even as an adult, it's not college related things, but like doctors or like vet appointments or whatever, like admin stuff, I'm just like, I can't function on anything else. So
Mm.
basically, every tiny little thing makes me trip and not like I'm not very good at continuing my consistent streaks of writing. Fair, I just like procrastinate my writing by doing non-writing novel related stuff like maps
Mm.
and characters. Yeah, but you could, if you posted it, you could consider that to be content creation. So, moving is so much harder than I thought it was going to be. I still haven't purchased a damn bedside table. Good luck. Ooh, have a look at because you're in the UK. I love this website called Futon Company, Futon, like a futon. They do small furniture for like small spaces and stuff.
Ooh.
And I'm actually looking at them for a new coffee table because we don't have a huge amount of space in front of our sofa, and the coffee table takes so much space. But the one I'm looking at also opens up, and so you have like
Ah,
storage inside, and it becomes bigger, so you can put things on top. If that makes sense.
that's cool.
So yeah. Anyway, and it's not, and they've got a big sale going on right now. So have a look at that, Marta.
Link in the description. Just kidding.
Yeah. Keiko Fancy High School. Yes, it was a fancy high school. I think when some of my Belgian royalty went to my high school, it was a proper fancy high school.
Yeah, this needs to be a book. Like Belgian Dragon Slayer High School. Yes.
Oh, and you got the big dragon slaying picture. Yeah, yeah. And all the St. George painting. Yeah. Prayer of the Orange Tree is partly inspired by that. Is it? I did not know that. Oh, that's very cool. Oh, someone is ringing my bell. I can't go at the door right now. I'm not waiting for anything, so I don't know, Jamie had a package coming in and I've already receptioned it. So
Ooh.
if it's something else, they'll leave it in front. Laura says, I'm implementing the 12-week year for writers. Oh yeah, you were reading that book to see if I can do all the things. Reading, writing, content, exercise, starboarding. I read that as skateboarding.
I thought it was skateboarding at first.
And I was like, why is that in this book?
But I would totally believe like Laura just being like, yeah, I'm doing skateboarding now. And I would be like, makes sense, because I feel like,
why the fuck not?
yeah, like Laura starts new things and excels at all things. So I just, that would make sense.
I'm gonna go faster once again because, as usual, I'm a bit delayed on the comments, and it's like I think I'm 15 minutes late. No, don't worry, not to tell you, just so people know why I'm going super quickly suddenly. Malin, please tell me you're planning on working on that story again someday. I would love to. It might come back, but I have so many other stories I'm working on right now. But if I do, I will let you know. I just learned a new word, to oscillate. Sounds so fancy and sophisticated. Yes, I love that word. I want to see a world building in Notion video, please. Yes, I promise I'm trying to get it out again. This video is about, the hustle. Are you only doing the 5 Bs, Malin? Yes, for the Reezy thing. Is it a collab with Reezy? Yes and yes. And that's why I'm editing now, so it'll come out like tomorrow, probably. So you'll see it very soon, promise. Oh my god, I have so many videos that I've been wanting to do for so long, but then end up prioritizing other projects, so definitely relate to that. Yep. I miss doing my Tuesday streams, but there's just not enough time in the day to regularly stream. It is really hard, and there's periods of the year as well that are easier than others to do.
I really miss those streams too. I really miss when you guys were streaming with Phoebe on the regular, because I had
so good
company during my work day, which was so wonderful.
I loved that I had a regular day of the week. I knew I was going to write during, even if I didn't write the rest of the week. I was like, I know that on Tuesday nights I'm going to write anyway, so this is good. I feel like I need to do that again. Maybe I should start, more streams. But that requires effort.
Put more things on your plate so that your work-life balance becomes worse.
Yes, this is the actual topic of this stream, is how to make it worse. Your videos are perfect, Anna. Yes, that time is definitely well spent. Agreed. And some more love for your videos. The only error is that you don't post weekly.
Yeah.
Well, you are doing that right now, doing a weekly vlog, no?
That was the only one. My next video that I have to do for Reezy will be in early October, kind of summing up the whole end of the course and everything that I think about it. So I'm trying to decide right now, like, what I'm going to post in September, or if I'm going to post in September. TBD. I think it would have to be something quick. Like, I probably wouldn't do another vlog because I'm going to save all that for the October video.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, you might, I was going to say early October, you might do another video in between anyway, but yeah. Fair enough. And also then you might enjoy the course a bit more if you're not constantly trying to vlog it at the same time, I guess.
I think that's a big factor in it too, is like, I just want space to just be the student,
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Born Sexy Yesterday. Thank you. That is the name of the trope. Fifth Element is one of my faves too. Yes, I love that movie so much. And I know it's problematic. I still love it. I don't care. Posted a pic in the crafting channel. Yay! I'll have a look at that. Okay, but the coffee table is also on my list of things I still need to buy. Yes, so have a look at Futon Company. And they deliver for sure. Fifth Element is such a fun movie. I love how the TV guy is reporting constantly. Yes. You make a world building video footage. I am attempting to make a world building video because that's how I like to world build, is in Notion. So I'm attempting to do it for Project Snowstorm and at the same time recording the process so I can make a video out of it, essentially. Marta also misses the Tuesday streams and says she's available Tuesday evenings if I need a co-host. Yes.
Oh my god.
This could become, look, if I did this, I would probably start with, once every 2 weeks, not once every week, because commitment is hard to anything.
I love the cross stitch, and I'm in suspense for what it's going to say. Girls just wanna.
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh my god, I love that. It's also, the picture is like with us in the background.
I look so pleased in this picture.
I love that. And Laura is currently snuggling with Roy. Life is indeed good. Yes. Early October. And that's in over a month. Give me more of their videos.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes, the Phoebe streaming days were absolutely golden. I feel like we're talking about it like it was a big event, thing. I was just like,
It
this
was
is
an
the
era in
time.
my life for
It was
sure.
the golden age of streaming.
Mhm.
I miss it. So yeah. All right. That's all the comments. I'm just putting up question number 2, and you guys can think about your answer while we do sprint number 2. Have you experimented with methods to improve this
Mhm.
balance? I'll put both questions up so that we kind of combine both. I almost feel like they sort of relate to one another, because what is your ideal life writing content balance, and therefore have you tried to improve it, and how? Essentially, I should have
Yeah.
just made that the question instead, but whatever. You get the gist of it. Like I said, it's the struggle bus.
Yeah.
Can't board everyone. So yeah. Let me just find the next timer. Do you know what? I'm gonna get the Cowboy Canyon timer up, I think. I do love
Lovely.
that. That's a pretty good one. Okay. Present, share screen. Is 35 minutes good again?
That's perfect.
Perfect. Because I like 5 minutes to do coffee, going to the
Mhm.
bathroom,
Yeah,
hydrating, and then 30 minutes of actual work.
that's right.
Don't worry, we're not doing an hour. I just haven't set it up yet. There we go.
Love it.
There we go. See you guys in 35.
Yay.
Sorry, I forgot to mute the tab again.
You're good. I was expecting it this time.
Yeah. How did that go for you?
Very good. I did just more focused reading and many more pages done. So yeah.
Nice, nice. And I am now, I can't believe I'm only 4 minutes and 25 seconds in with the amount of information I feel like I've already put into the video because I'm like,
Yeah.
I've got an intro about my plot bunny idea, Reedsy reaching out, and I've started explaining all the courses that are available and what Reedsy does. And I'm now on to talking about Tom Bromley briefly. So I'm like, there's already so much, and it's only 4 minutes in.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Mm.
Well, good.
But it feels like good progress, and like I'm definitely gonna finish it tonight because we have probably 2 hours and a half of streaming, and it's been 2 hours. And then after the stream, I'll probably take care of Edgar and everything, and then I'll get back into it. So yeah,
Awesome.
nice. So our second question was, have you experimented with methods to improve this balance?
Mm.
Do you want to start, and then I'll give an answer, and then we can go into the chat?
Yeah, I will start because I'm gonna make you look really good. Because I feel like I haven't really experimented. I really feel like I'm winging it all the time. And I feel like in general, apart from like this month of August, I feel like in general I do kind of have an okay balance between things because I started YouTube very intentionally and was like, I'm
Mm.
only doing one video a month ideally. If I need to skip, I need to skip, whatever. And I never really,
As a method in itself, I would say.
yeah.
To be purposeful in how much you're willing to put out and how much you're
Yeah,
willing to be like, this is how much effort will go in, how much time will go in, how much I can do
right.
realistic.
Yeah. I think I knew going in, like, if I try to put any sort of expectation on this or on myself of routine, then it will be ruined before it even gets off the ground. So
Yeah.
that's been helpful. But I think this month in particular, the balance that I usually have has just kind of like shaken apart.
If anything, it's a good test of yeah, what are the foundations of the house and
Yeah. I think
what
I said yes to way too many things this month. And so, um,
this is where, because I know you're doing some bit reading and you did some for me as well, and I really appreciate it. But I'm highly aware of, yes, like fitting in bit reading and your own writing at the same time is sometimes very difficult.
mhm,
Because we're both also, I think, people who are like, I have promised something, I'm gonna hold up to it, right?
yeah.
And it's sometimes you're like, oh, but and then I have no time to do this, and then you sort of have to drop one thing or another
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So on top of the two beta reads, obviously the readsy thing is there.
Yeah.
Um, and then I also am hosting the book club for Nostalgia Train, so I need to read The Host this month, which is like a big chonker.
Mm.
I have like 3 reading assignments for this month, so I think that's also partly why the writing has just taken a backseat because like these things I owe to people. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
feel like um, saying yes in general is such a good concept, but then at some point you're like, oh my god, have I said yes to too many things?
yeah, yeah. I definitely probably should have said no to one of those things, but I don't regret it.
No, yeah, fair, fair. I would say the only time I've started experimenting with it more is probably this year when I've been doing more time-based productivity goals
Right.
rather than word count productivity goals. But that hasn't been so much with the intention of improving the balance between my writing and my daily life. It's been more with the intention of putting less pressure on writing so many words that I end up, because I'm already an overwriter, that I end up having a lot of overly wordy passages or sentences that I then have to edit down. And I think I only started doing this year probably because I've noticed more how Space Princess Project in particular is, which is a chunky book.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, because I didn't read it.
No, I loved it.
Um, I think when I first started writing it, a big part of it was during these sort of events, like doing self challenges, like 10K weekend, or do,
Mhm.
doing these other, organized challenges like the Story Teller readathon and things, write-a-thon and things like that. And so I ended up probably cramming in more words than I needed to. So
Interesting.
recently, I feel like, especially with reading on Steve's channel, The Anatomy of Prose and things like that, I've noticed, I think I have maybe a better sense of pace of storytelling, and now I need to get a better sense of prose. And I really appreciated talking with Laura about it when she was
Mm,
on Steve's channel, because it seems like Laura has a much more purposeful approach to prose and will start a
mhm.
sentence that she knows will sound good almost
Yeah.
from the start. And I can't do that. But I also don't enjoy editing that much. I feel
Mhm.
like there's a part of it, like line editing in particular. So I'm thinking one way to sort of have to reduce the amount of time I spend on that is probably to do it better from the start.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're gonna
So
have to line it either
so I
way.
feel like
You did it
all
first.
of these different elements led to me being like, maybe time goals are better than word count goals in general. And then it's sort of had the incidental effects that I'm very happy about of sort of improving how I see my writing time versus my other time, like
Mhm.
personal time, work life, etc. Um, just because I suddenly was like, I feel really good about myself knowing I've just spent 25 minutes on something
Yeah.
that was important to me without needing to be like, have I finished a chapter? Have I finished this word count?
Mm,
And suddenly the mentality shifting, I feel like, has helped me a little bit becoming
yeah.
better with being like, do you know what, today I don't need to have done this, I just need to have done 25 minutes, whatever those look like.
Yeah, I love that because the 25 minutes doesn't have a like um value judgment attached to it
Mm.
because you do it or you don't.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
it's not like, oh, like in if you're in NaNoWriMo times and you're like, oh, I spent an hour writing and I only got 400 words, like this
Yeah,
is the worst. Like that,
like
yeah.
when I look at the 25-minute challenge I did during the dog derby days, I'm like, to be fair, I can add a value afterwards if I really want to. And I can be like, I finished reworking my portfolio and it got me a new job. And I've also, because I was counting those, and I've also finished reworking my first 5 chapters for
Yeah.
The Art of Summoning Demons. And then I actually sent it out to you guys. And even that action is like, that's not a word count based thing. It's just that's an action I've done. I'm happy
Yeah.
I did that thing, even
Yeah.
just sending it out. So
Right.
I feel like it's a slow process of figuring out what is the toxicity in my own brain and how do I delete it.
Yeah. Very well said. Yeah, I totally.
um, I'll go through some of the answers in the comments because I think these are going to be very interesting. I've also starred one so I could figure out where we were last. There we go. Laura answered, currently experimenting, yes. I would write until I burn out and switch to reading for a few months to refill the well, rinse and repeat. Now I'm trying to have mini goals and weekly goals that that fit, I guess, into a semester. I made a 5-week plan to tackle my R&R for Seeds of Doubt. I made, amazing. I've made progress. Then I found out it's just readathon, so I'm trying to squeeze that in right now too. I mean, in general, Laura, I feel like you've always been the queen of overproductivity, but it gives amazing results is the thing. So it's like,
Yeah.
how do you not become toxic with yourself if you know that you're actually getting amazing results from it?
And I think also like to point out something else in this is like Laura made a 5-week plan and Steve was talking about I'm doing this 500 word goal until I hit the end of my draft. And I think it's
Mm,
really helpful to be like I am doing this routine or this goal until X time.
yeah,
And it's really helpful for me to say in my mind like I have to do this for a limited amount of time, but then after that
yeah,
we're adjusting to something else. And like, I think in the
yeah.
writing community, it's easy to feel like, oh, I have to adopt a routine and do it forever until I die perfectly.
Be consistent forever.
And you can just decide to do something for like 3 weeks or 3 months and then let it go.
I agree. I think that's a really good point because, yeah, if anything, when I finish something that I set out to do, so like for instance, in my head, I was like, I knew which week I wanted to work on these 5P lessons for the Readsy video.
Mm.
And the moment I finished them, I was like, wow, I've done it. Cool. Ooh, what is the sense of freedom of
Yeah.
because I've done the task I set out to do
Yeah.
during the time I set it out. And then
Yeah.
afterwards, it was done. And like
You're
obviously I
still
need to
finish
edit
line.
it. But editing is a different mindset than filming, vlogging, doing stuff. And same with like when I set out to do, okay, I want to do the first 5 chapters at least for the Art of Summoning Demons. After I was done rewriting those, yes, I can still go on and I do need to go on for the other chapters. But in the meantime, I was also like, oh, I should pick up a book and read again because I need to
Yeah.
change my activities. And I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, there's something nice about that. Marta said, I mean, the 3 hours thing I'm currently doing is a way to try to improve it. Yeah. I'm also playing around with what tasks work best for me before work versus after work versus for longer
Mhm.
periods on weekends. That's a very fair point. Honestly, I just want more time. I know. So do I. My ideal balance would be doing engineering part time for 3 days a week, working on creative stuff for 3 days, and gasp, having a weekly day off. But that
Yeah.
seems very far fetched at the moment. Yeah, I feel like that's completely fair regarding wanting more time. I feel like I had a problem at some point where it was bigger than now. I still probably have a hint of that problem where my brain was literally like, I'm constantly running out of time. I'm constantly running out of time to
Mhm.
do this thing, to achieve that thing, to what is the deadline for, at which age am I meant to have published a book? At which age, like there's constantly
Yeah.
timings that are given to us by society and then by ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be like, no, I have all the time in the world.
It's so hard. Yeah. I already feel like I missed my boat and I'm just trying to catch up.
And you did not. And that's the thing. It's just hard it's easier to say that to someone else than to yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm sorry I hadn't seen there were more Laura answers as well underneath. So I also would split my yearly goals into monthly and weekly goals years ago. That worked great. Then over time
Mm.
hits, then COVID hits. Yeah, maybe I'll try working out my weekly goals in my physical planner. Again, once I switch to my new one in a week, I'm running out of room. Currently, my schedules and goals are digital in Milanote. It's faster to set up and fill out than on paper, but I think paper is worth it. I remember more of what I've physically written out by hand. Yeah, you might be like me. I'm a kinetic person. Like people will be
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm visual or auditive. Like I remember things when I hear them or I remember things when I see them.
Yeah.
I've always been in school. I was always a kinetic person. I needed to either read out loud while pacing around the room because there was an action based thing or rewrite my notes because
Yeah.
that was another action based thing.
Yeah. I keep thinking about like becoming just a full on Notion girly and not using my bullet journal, but yeah, like Laura said, I don't think I would remember what I had listed.
Yeah, I feel like these also, as long as these serve two different purposes, I think it's nice to have different formats for different things. I still enjoy every now and then writing bullet point lists or like little, checklists physically.
Mhm.
Like I have this, it's actually meant for bullet journaling, but it's like a pad that is meant for exercising, like practicing some stuff for bullet journaling.
Oh,
So they're all detachable, but it's all like bullet
oh,
like
cool.
base. So you can rip them out, which is what I like about it. Because I
Yeah.
don't know, all right, I'm done with this. Next. Um, but Notion for me is more an organization tool for bigger things. Like I love using it to keep track of longer term things. But if
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I going to do this week? I like a physical paper for that.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I agree that there's something about writing by hand as well. And also the Milanote thing, it was Minook who posted a video of her outline
Mm.
so she's writing a volleyball romance novel right now because she was very inspired by the Olympics. I can bet there's going to be so many sports romance coming out very soon. The Olympics are going to be the fuel to
Yeah.
so many great stories. Um,
Yeah.
but essentially, she had her outline in Milano, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is that? I need that." So she sent me a private video of her running through it and showing me how she works it on Milanote.
Cool.
It was like this would definitely work with my brain because Milanote is essentially originally it was very much sold to people who are doing interior design stuff, and
Yeah.
because you can pin so many things, right? Like all the imagery and stuff. And I love working with visual items like that. So
Yeah.
I need to get on that. That would be nice. Or at least outlining. That sounds fun. Steek says, I sort of have the 5am writing challenge. Yes, you did that. You both did that. Was so good for my writing and my mental health. Right, Anna? You love that one, lol.
That's so funny that it was good for your mental health, because it was just like the worst week of my year. That's so funny.
Worst week of your year?
I think, well, I got sick, and I think that was part of it, is like just waking up and feeling so ill was so
That is
bad.
not the time to have less sleep. Like, that is the time to have more sleep. Yeah.
I have been thinking about bringing it back, I'm not going to lie.
You're crazy.
Because I feel like to
I'll be awake
do it
because
well, and maybe do like 6 a.m.
6 a.m. sounds better. I don't understand the 5 a.m. thing. I'm like, you can fit a good amount of time if you wake up earlier, and it doesn't have to be 5 fucking a.m. But
Yeah.
I think it's probably based around people who may have more to their daily lives than we do, like children, and
Exactly. Yeah.
a lot of morning routine stuff that they need to do, like driving them to school or whatever. I don't know. I don't have to commute except on Mondays at the moment. So I could easily do something where if I woke up even just an hour earlier, I would have an hour more to write.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I'd love for something like that to be a regular thing. That'd be very impressive. I would love early morning writing to be a regular thing. Get it done first thing in the morning. I have, what is that called?
Seasonal affective disorder.
Thank you. I was like, what does it stand for again? Yeah.
Yeah.
Winter is always tough. Yeah. And I mean, that is tough in particular, I want to say, in the country in which you live. I feel like that's even worse, but I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just feel like you get even shorter days potentially in Norway. Tell me if I'm wrong. This year I'm trying light therapy courtesy of my therapist.
Ooh.
Do you have the light at home? Then that's like, I've heard of that, which means 30 minutes in front of the lamp first thing in the morning for the month of October. Maybe I can spend them writing. Oh,
Something about doing it with a sun lamp just sounds like awesome to me.
that sounds very cool. Is it super expensive? Like, because I've heard that these lights were very expensive. Again, call in. I'm
gonna Google.
Yeah, have a little look. Laura says, I think my light lamp helped. I also have that as well as regular depression. Yeah, so, oh, and Keiko said sad scene again, and I guess that's when the timer stopped. Sorry. Laura says, if my mental health was always good, I'd get so much more done. That's a good point. Well, although, funnily enough, I think it was when I was at my lowest mental health wise, when I had full on loads of anxiety and depression before I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. It was when I started writing again, because I was like, I need something more in life. Like there was something.
Joyous.
And it's very interesting because in my head I was thinking so much about all of the famous French poets that were driven by how sad they were all the time. And I was like, yes, art is born out of my anxiety.
Out of pain.
Literally. I'm glad I don't have that anymore though, and I'm still being productive in my creativity. You don't need it, but it was just an interesting fun fact. Marta went down a bit of a furniture rabbit hole, but also got a little writing done. To be fair, I always condone a furniture rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I think it's so great. Working on making food, bought a microwave dinner a while back that I thought I could cook in the oven, but the box says don't do it. Yeah, that means it's going to burn. The plastic's going to burn. So I've taken it out of the plastic and put it on the stove. Yeah, that's fair. Yes, do hydrate, even if it is with a little gin tonic. It's always nice. Marcia says, I definitely tend to say yes to too many things, but it's okay. I didn't need to sleep anyway.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just realizing we've now been on for 2 hours 20. We said 2 hours 30. Are we okay with not having any more sprints? Because I'm assuming we're just going to fill that time with the rest of the comments because I'm 15 minutes behind once again.
I'm good with that.
Malin, every time I asked to co-host a craft chat, should have said no. No, I actually do really like. I keep bringing up the books I've read with you, just so you know. I generally have found most of them super useful. So I would not consider that to be any sort of, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'm
I
always really
think
happy.
you guys should, at the end of the year or however long you want, do a tier ranking live stream.
Yes. Of all the craft books.
Put your favorites.
Yes. And we all know Story Geniuses at the bottom. Sorry. We're just a couple of struggling artists, Laura. Hi, Green Rule. How's it going? I love time goals. There you go. There you go. 1667 is 27 minutes. So maybe that's a goal. Oh, like words?
Oh.
1667 words? Is that what you mean? Oh, no, just 1667. I need to read the entire comment first. Sorry. Seconds of writing every day in November. All right. Yeah, I gotcha.
Great.
That's a good idea. That's a good point. You could just be like, yeah, 27 minutes. I should do that this year. Well, I'll be starting a new job in November. I'm not going to attempt nano this year, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the right call.
It's just not going to happen. And plus, I'm always just like, yeah, I've done it once. I don't need to do it again. You know, when you're
Yeah.
like, I finally achieved this one thing.
And as much as I want to read Project Snowstorm so badly, I don't think you're allowed to draft a new book right now.
Fair. And I did say my goals for this year were very much more finishing things rather than starting new things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the middle of finishing too many things right now.
Right.
Sorry. Sending something out to people is very scary and should count as at least 10 keywords. Yes. Yes, exactly. I agree. Struggle buddies. Yes. Welcome to the struggle bus. I also think in our line of beeswax, it's very easy to compare yourself to other people's progress. And as we all know, comparison is the thief of joy. Yes. I think for some people, though, it's motivating. I feel like it's Jess who said before that she finds it very motivating when she sees people on like the same sheet. You know, when you have a group community Google Sheets to put your numbers of words in. She finds it super motivating to see someone else is above her, and she's like, I'm more motivated to do more. And in like the competition aspect is good for her.
Yeah.
I tend to be, I'm an anti-authority, anti-competition girly at core. So if I see something like that, if I were to be bothered by that, I'd be like, fuck it, then I'm not doing anything. And that's the problem.
Yeah. I really like competing with myself. And I think the public spreadsheets more than anything help me be like, not like public performance, but like I have to show, if I put my name on the sheet, I can't end the event with 0 words, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a name and shame kind of thing. I don't know.
I think it's just that I feel like this year I've been kinder to myself in accepting that if I do end up a month with 0 words, it's because I couldn't write a single word. And that's all right. And if my friend told me this, I'd be like, you had other things. You dealt with other things. So I have to tell myself that as well. But that only happened probably since last year when we moved, because we did so many things last year in life stuff in terms of moving a house, getting married, all of these things were like big events. And so I think that's why those months when I was doing nothing, I was like, there's a very valid reason why I'm doing nothing in terms of my writing. And it sort of almost shifted my brain to be like, yes, now you have to accept that sometimes there are certain things that mean you don't have time, and that's okay.
Yeah. And you did write a ton last year.
That's true. November, I did nano. I did nano. That's why. Never again. Crystal says, I'm really bad at trying to implement things to get a better balance. My brain has work mode and writing mode. It's hard to be the writer while being an employee, even on days off. Yes, I feel that. And also, my brain has writer mode and reading mode. And for some reason, these days, I can't fully like get into reading a book if I'm writing a book at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is terrible because half of that is my source material is inspiration. But yeah, you're allowed to reread your goals. You don't have to remember them. That's sort of the point of writing them down. True. Good point.
I suppose.
Oh my God, Marta, no, do not start on this. All of you.
I'm thinking 2025. There's something, we did it in September last time. There's something about how dark it was in the morning that was just so rough.
Which is the best month then, would you say, to have like a lighter morning?
I don't know.
And if you did it at 6 a.m. instead of 5, is that actually better for daylight?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
feel like for me, if I got up at 7, that would be a challenge in itself because I already find that really hard on days I have to commute. So,
yeah. I just remember, like, also, I did not do a good job of, like, going to bed early so I could do this challenge. Like,
mm,
I did not do it well. So I would be, like, getting ready to go to bed at, like, I don't know, 11 o'clock or something. And then I would be getting the Discord notifications of Steve waking up and being like, I'm here. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this in like five
yeah,
hours. I have to be
yeah.
awake.
That's the problem. Is like it takes a while to shift your schedule, your pattern. So while you're doing that, your brain is not
Yeah.
active enough in the morning when you first do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Laura says I have so many boards on Millinode. I track my walking challenges. I don't know. My middle grade story and querying Agile's pivot section for my Gothic, my 1.5 year plan, my R&R plan, exercise tracking, etc. That is just so impressive, and I love that. I don't think I would switch from Notion to Millinode for that kind of stuff. I enjoy Notion better for that, but I think for visual things, I might have a little look around. Yeah. Um, yeah, it won't be 5 a.m. I leave for work at 7:10, so like 6 a.m. is perfect for me. 30 minutes of activity, shower, and then work. Perfect.
Noted.
Yeah, maybe there should be a 6 a.m. challenge, and I'll join you at 7. I'll really get up at 6 a.m. regularly and do half an hour of creative stuff before work. But maybe 5:30 would work to challenge myself
My
for a week.
gosh.
More or less, you're already doing the challenge
You're
anyway.
already doing it. That's
What
crazy.
do you mean you want to challenge yourself more?
This is this is incredible. What are you talking about?
It's like Marta's been doing it all year long, and just everyone is like trying to join. She's like, I can join by getting up even earlier.
So what we're doing in 2025 is the Marta challenge, where we just do Marta's routine.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to wake up at that time.
Mm-mm.
Mine was like 45 quid. Oh, the light sun lamp thing.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Nice. Why are you speaking in quid as well, Stig? Did you actually buy it on in the UK? The sun lamps are reasonable on Amazon. Okay, cool. Mine is ancient and huge and was the bucks. Okay, fair enough. Good reviews. Recommended by my physical therapist friend. Nice.
Good.
I actually think Romancing the Beat is lower than Story Genius. Fair enough. And I think maybe you're right, but I didn't read it at the same time as you had read it previously. So, yeah. But yes and no, because to me, Romancing the Beat is so small and short and like cheap that I don't compare it. Like in my head, I'm like, yeah, it was sort of, not what I expected, not as good as I expected, but also it didn't need to be because it wasn't a big ass book with loads of writing in it that I expected
Yeah.
to bring a lot to me, if that makes
She
sense.
did the thing that like we always say about craft books, which is like this really could have been a pamphlet and the writer didn't need to try
Mm,
to make this a $20 book. And so I appreciate that because she was like, it's a
yeah,
pamphlet. There you
yeah.
go.
I do appreciate the honesty of like, here's the size, that's all you actually need. I'm not gonna write my whole fucking life story in there.
Right.
So I don't know what that oh no was for, but maybe it was related to the 5 a.m. Timing. Nano 2023 was so magical for us. Oh, it's about Nano. Yeah, and me not doing Nano this year, I think. I can't if I'm starting a new job then. It's just going to be too hard. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll end up being like, oh, the first month is very chill. I doubt it. Like,
Mm,
but I don't know. It was magical. It was a magical time. I really
mhm.
enjoyed. I think part of the fun of Nano is very much, yeah, being able to do it with other people and having that community aspect of things. And even though it was the year Nano crashed as an entity and website and community online, we had the Discord, so it was fine.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I really get that reading and writing at the same time is so damn hard for me. Yeah, I can't seem to do it. September is just around the corner. Let's go. IMM Challenge, May 2025. Here we go.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm feeling.
Yeah, but that's the point, Marta. The challenge is to help people get to that schedule to become their default.
You are the pinnacle.
You're already there. Also, I'm not always writing in the morning. Sometimes I use it for YouTube stuff because that's easier. Fair enough. Would it mean anything to you if I said it was 599 Norwegian crowns? I'm assuming. No, but I just found it funny that you said quid. Most people default to saying dollars if they're translating. So I appreciate that you translated for me directly. Translated for you in my brain because I'm a people pleaser. Yes, true. So am I. I get it. All right, that was the last of the comments, and it is 5:32. So I
Look
feel
at
like
that.
we made perfect timing on this. On this note, I think we'll end the video here. And as usual, I will have a very cold close because I don't have an outro, and I will never have an outro at this point.
Mhm.
It's become a principle, a matter
Right.
of
Harsh
principle.
goodbye, always.
Exactly. I mean, do you want to outro yourself? I didn't even ask you to intro yourself earlier. What do you have going on? Because you have videos that are coming out. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll be doing the Readsy course through the end of September, and then I'll have a wrap-up video about that, and probably a vlog about that in early October. Will I get myself together to do a different kind of video in September is TBD.
fair enough. And I will have a video that should come up tomorrow or Tuesday, worst case scenario, but very, very, very soon about the 5P for this Readsy course. So the early lessons that you can get. I think anyone can get these, right? Like if you, I'm
I'm
not
not
sure,
sure.
but I do walk. I go through them, like I actually do them, so you can follow along. And yes, see how I end this stream without an outro. Very mindful, very demure, very cutesy. Goodbye.
Bye.